Okay, so you have daddy issues too.
Yeah.
What daddy issues do you got?
I have the type of daddy issues where like sometimes I can't tell where I end and my dad begins. Like I have embodied my father to the extent where sometimes I'm just like, who is Maria? Like, who am I?
Welcome to the Daughter with Daddy Issues podcast. Here we get raw, real, and vulnerable. We bring the heart, the mind, the body, and the soul together as we explore the complexities and nuances of the father-daughter relationship.
Welcome back to part 2 of Shupa and Maria on The Daughter, or should I say The Daughters with Daddy Issues podcast. So we went on a break.
The cousin sisters from paternal side with daddy issues. Sorry. Yeah. I'm shut the fuck up.
I have 2 cousins from the paternal side on my show talking about daddy issues. And this is just a great dynamic. You guys must be like best friends at this point.
We are. That's my best friend. We live together for a time. I mean, we work together on multiple projects, but yeah, that's like, she knows the inside of my brain. But do I feel comfortable letting her clean my room with me? Yeah, no, that's my bestie.
That's your bestie. I do want to say that sometimes, especially as women of color and from our culture, we tend to minimize a lot of things. We tend to kind of suppress our needs. It took me a long time to come to embrace the fact that I deserved to hear from my father, "You are so smart. You are beautiful. You're amazing. You have such potential. And regardless of what you achieve in your life or you don't, I am just so proud of you." And I think we all deserve that.
Yeah, 100%. I think if you don't hear those things at a formative age, like that is a crucial time in a child's life, in a person's life. And if you don't hear it, then I think it creates this deep void inside you. And then no matter how many times you hear it later on in your life, it feels like, oh, they're just saying it for the sake of saying it, or they're just saying it because they're nice, or it's them, they're kind. But it doesn't chip away at the insecurities.
Yes.
Because the damage is already done.
Yes. Or we have internalized that we're not good enough.
Can I give you like I love to share what my therapist said to me when I was like doing this thing, but it's like something that I tell everybody because it really changed my life.
Please.
But like, she was like, you have this, like, I've noticed this thing about your demeanor where you're so bad at like tolerating positive affect, which is what she called it. When I give you a compliment, your whole body just like grips like in your seat. You feel so viscerally uncomfortable that I can feel it. She literally had me practice. She was like, I'm going to say nice things to you. I'm going to say nice things to you for a few minutes in a row. And I want you to just sit there and breathe and take it. I want you to breathe in and say, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. And like just that act, I got so good at doing that my fiance, when I told him that my therapist taught me how to do that, he started laughing so hard because he's like, yeah, I've noticed that you do that. He's like, I've wondered who taught you how to do that, because you go, thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
Like, am I invited to the wedding?
Yeah.
Can I come to the wedding?
Yes, you can. Yes.
We will have catering from
Rupashi Bangla.
Rupashi Bangla.
At 2680 Lawrence Avenue East.
Yeah.
2860 Lawrence
Avenue
2680.
East.
2680 Lawrence
Lawrence Avenue East.
Avenue East.
Yeah.
Be there or be square. If you have to say something positive about yourself, what would you say?
I truly struggle when it comes to coming up with something good to say about myself, but I think I have noticed recently, now that I manage people, where I have a mentorship role, that I have the ability to make people feel confident about themselves. Or I have the ability to make people feel comfortable or safe to share about themselves more authentically, to the point where sometimes they overshare, but that's okay.
They overshare with you?
Yeah.
But
That's
a,
okay.
but that's a sign how you have made them feel so safe.
Yeah.
I
I
love
mean, I think overshare in like a work context.
that. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Psychological safety in the workplace is like
Yeah.
the main thing for like promoting creativity and authentic self-expression and all of, like, it's a good thing to foster
Yeah,
that
for sure.
relationship, however much you have to hear about people's bowel movements.
Yeah,
Like, whatever, like, it's good because they feel safe.
You literally just talked about one of my most important topics, psychological safety in the workplace. Because a lot of the times at the workplace, we are seeking validation because of our daddy issues. Oh, I love you raising your hand.
I mean, not just when I worked with my dad, but I've had daddy issues in the workplace when it wasn't my dad, and it's viscerally uncomfortable. I've had there was like an angry man that I worked for back in the day. Excellent boss in retrospect, like after I quit. But before I quit, he was stressing me out because it was reminding me of my dad. And he was very like, you know, hot tempered, very like, this thing has to be done on time. Like, why aren't you doing this? Like, you know, like, but then also I would be working till 2 a.m.
Right.
And then messaging him being, I finally cracked this code. Take a second and look at it when you have a chance. He'd be like, why are you working at 2? I'm like, because you make me feel like I have to. Like, like I've never felt safe to take my time off, you know? But like, I think it really does show up in the most like, what's the word I'm looking for? But just like
Randomest moments?
Randomest moments, and also just like the most like nefarious, like just moments where you catch yourself and you're like, what am I even doing right now? Like, why am I obsessed with this person's validation? And it really does just tap a core wound, and you don't realize when you're doing it because you're like, oh, I'm just trying to perform well at work. But it's like, no, you're trying to meet impossible expectations that exist way in the back of your mind
Correct.
that nobody else is holding you to anymore. Like,
Correct.
yeah.
Nobody else is holding you to it anymore. Or maybe even if your workplace is holding
Oh,
holding
or like
it
that they don't
onto
have
you,
a right to hold you to, I guess, is
which
kind
they
of what I
don't.
meant.
But then we hold ourselves to it because we have been kind of conditioned to do that.
And I think a lot of workplaces rely on that too. Like I think
do.
I think I've seen that
We take
firsthand.
advantage of that.
I've seen that a lot, and like companies that I've worked for where like my immediate team has just been all people of color. It'll be very much like the experience is like you're just supposed to be grateful to be there. You're not supposed to negotiate, and like they kind of rely on you being the type of person who's just grateful to be there because your parents have like built that into you.
That's the thing. Psychological safety in the workplace, psychological safety in the family, psychological safety, you know, in our community.
Can I just
Yes.
say that I think sometimes it feels grim when we are talking about these issues.
Correct.
I think you can create safety for yourself sounds weird, but like I think we live together and we have created a home for ourselves where we feel safe. And so even though growing up it felt like it's always going to feel like this, it doesn't have to.
But the
And-
path to like regulating yourself though is still very long, I will
Yeah,
say.
for
Like we
sure.
did have this conversation. I remember when we first moved in together, and like 2 months in, we were just like, why do I still like grip when I hear the door open, or like when I hear somebody walking up the stairs? I'm like, I have to be doing something right now. You know, like that feeling stays with you long after you move out from under your parents' grip.
Yeah.
It's
And
oh my
I
God.
often find myself like not leaving my room because I'm just so uncomfortable sitting, like just existing in the living room or in the
Right.
common area. Like
Right.
someone's going to witness me being a slob. We can't have that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't be caught watching TV.
You
in the middle of the
Yeah.
day.
You raise an important point about starting to, or at least trying to start being safe with ourselves first.
Yeah.
It's only when we create that internal safety, we can go into the world feeling like I can do difficult things. I can do fun things. I can stand up for myself. I can speak up for myself. I can have my own back. I can celebrate myself. I can give myself the permission to do things that, you know, maybe my mom didn't let me or my dad didn't let me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we all have to take the time to do that work because I would find myself before if anything would go wrong, right? Just be out of commission for a week. Like, I am the worst, dumbest, stupidest person in the whole world. I'm not going to leave my room, get out of bed for a week. And now I find myself bouncing back from any kind of failure or perceived failure a lot faster because I'm just like, you know what? That doesn't define who you are as a person.
Doesn't.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story, Shupa.
Thank you for hearing it.
Are you ready?
Sure.
You have been ready.
I am constantly interrupting. You can always count on me to say what I feel.
Okay, so you have daddy issues too.
Yeah.
What daddy issues do you got?
I have the type of daddy issues where like sometimes I can't tell where I end and my dad begins. Like I have embodied my father to the extent where sometimes I'm just like, who is Maria? Like, who am I? Like my dad. And I think also, oh my God, this one time, okay, I'll tell this like TMI story, but one time I accidentally had too many, you know, those like the THC drops, like the edible oil.
Yes.
I didn't know how many drops was too many drops.
I've never had them, but yes, I know about them.
And I was having a meal with one of my friends at the restaurant. And I just had this like revelation. It was like after I hadn't smoked for a long time. And I was just like, yeah, I can take like 2 THC drops. And I was like fucking flying. Like, I don't know like what was wrong with me.
99.
But I was having this like revelation about me and my dad's relationship. And I felt so bad for my friend after because I was just like, why was I dumping on her? I was like, she just came here to like have some beef kalapuna. And I'm just like, me and my dad are raising each other. But no, like my dad, one of the things that I've learned through extensive therapy is I remember my therapist did an attachment inventory and was just like, let's look at your attachment style and where you're at. And she was just like, oh my God, like, you know, like, because I think I have a very,
are you anxious, avoidant,
I am disorganized attachment primarily. Disorganized meaning anxious avoidant, and leaning anxious, I think. But I think that's like what my therapist likes to think. I think I also lean avoidant. Like I'm truly disorganized. I'm all over the board. But one thing that she said in her attachment inventory was like, client idealizes father. And I'm like, wow. Like, you know, because I'm just like, I talked about both my parents extensively. She asked me to like describe my parents in like 10 words or whatever.
Oh, hold on. Client idealizes father.
Yeah. And I was like, I can't believe you'd say that, bitch.
Can I just take a minute and let all the fathers know, if you are watching this or listening to this, your daughters idealize you? Because I used to idealize my father.
Yeah, Baba, if you're watching the Daughter with Daddy Issues podcast, you should know that I actually idealize you, and that's like a big part of the problem. But yeah, no, I think my dad, when I look back at my childhood and stuff, both of my parents struggled a lot. We moved here, you know, with very little to our name, and my dad had to work so much, and my mom had to work so much too. My mom had to raise kids and work so much, but like they were both really hustling. My dad worked every sort of job you could like think of when we first moved here. He was a pizza delivery guy. He was, you know, working overnights at a manufacturing plant in Brampton. He was doing that commute. Like he was really hustling. And I got so little time where like any time that I got to spend with my dad felt like the sun was shining on me, you know?
Wow.
And it was like I couldn't really account for, and you know, you don't know how to make sense of things when you're a kid, but the level of dysregulation that both my parents were experiencing, being new to this country, being, you know, in their early 30s with 2 kids, just trying to figure out like raw dog reality, you know, and they were both just so burnt out, and you don't have the words for that when you're a kid. So it's just like, you can't predict what your parents' mood is going to be like. You can't predict who you're getting when they walk through the door. And that is like something that has stayed with me my whole life. Where it's really dysregulating. Like if something is out of the ordinary or out of routine, like sometimes it's hard for me to even make space for my partner to have a bad day because I'm so dysregulated by it. And I'm like, you can't walk in here like that, like with that energy, because that is really triggering for me. But it's really hard for me to show up as a partner because I am just like so tripped up by like the difference in his mood or something, you know, like those things I think have really stayed with me. I think, yeah, like my dad would work the overnight shift. And so he would sleep during the day sometimes. And it would be like, you have to be so quiet, because my dad's a really light sleeper, and you have to be so quiet in the house or your dad is going to wake up and just be like a raging animal, is how like my mom would make us feel. You know, she'd just be like, look, we have to tiptoe around the house. Like we have to
tiptoe around the house.
Yeah, because we can't anger this man.
Right.
When I think back on it as an adult, I don't really know that he would have done that much other than like, yeah, I mean, and also this is like my standards are in hell, but like, yeah, he would only like throw our, you know, our CD player across the room or whatever. Like he wouldn't physically harm us, but those types of things I learned to be very like cautious of.
Right.
Yeah. And so
dealing
with my dad's like as an adult, I can call them like tantrums, but as a kid, I was like, this is just like what a man is, you know?
Right.
And like, it's taken a lot of therapy and introspection and just understanding the way that my dad's brain, or I suspect the way that my dad's brain works, is what created the brain that I have, you know, like both my parents, and understanding those things about them and understanding that, yeah, sometimes you do show up really dysregulated and sometimes you do show up like not being able to be a person to other people. And that is not personal. Like learning that has actually nothing to do with me. And sometimes me and my dad have had conversations where I've been like, we are living in two completely different realities, because I see everything in this way where I'm like, my dad has just volunteered me for things and been like, yeah, run this restaurant that I bought, whatever. You know, sometimes I'm like, you're just in a mood and you just want to do something. But in my dad's eyes, he's like, I'm trying to help you. Like, this is like a good opportunity for you to do entrepreneurship. And like, this is the best environment for you to learn what it's like to be your own boss. And in his eyes, that's the vibe. But in my eyes, I'm like, you know, in Breaking Bad, there's this thing where Walter White, like his wife is just like, you think you're doing it for your family, you're only doing it for yourself. I have felt that way, like, you know. And so we've had these disagreements about what the intention was for him to, you know, decide that I was going to do this one thing with my life. And he's always just been like, I was just trying to help you. I don't know what you want me to say. It wasn't my intention to control your life. Like, and we just have this fundamental disagreement where I'm like, I think I have to accept that he's operating from a different place that is somewhat emotionally unintelligent. He is trying to do what's best from this place of survival mode, where he's like, you can't do your own project that you're really passionate about because that just sounds like something that is beyond my comprehension. What makes sense to me is running a real business that exists and making money, and like do that. And who cares if you don't care about it at all? And that has really affected like my sense of direction or my purpose, the way that I think about what am I meant to do in the world, what is my work in the world. Sometimes I will forget for years because I'm trying to do my dad's work in the world, and then I have to remember. And then it's also really frustrating when I'll tell my dad that and he'll be like, yeah, why didn't you just say so? If you had just said so, we wouldn't have had to do this whole hoopla, like, you know, and just, yeah, like you need to get more comfortable saying no to me. And I'm like, as a child, you made me think that saying no to you would result in me dying on the street. Like, you know, so like now I have a hard time saying no to you. Like, how are you surprised to hear that, you know? But genuinely, he'll be like shocked to hear it, because he's like, I was like so nice to you. This was me showing up as my best to you. And like, if that's not good enough for you, then whatever. Like toddler tantrum. Like, yeah, we're both the same person sometimes. And that is where my daddy issues come from, because the older I get, the more I relate to my dad. And then the more I feel like my reality is shattering all around me, because all of the things that I once felt so afraid of my dad for, I'm like, I've had that exact crash out at the same age. You know? I've been, 31, trying to figure it out, having no money and trying to raise my dog. I don't have kids. I'm like, this shit is stressful. It's really hard. I don't know how you're expected to show up and be a father. Like, it's hard. I think one thing that I want to say is Shupa's dad, it was the oldest son of the family, and our grandpa died when my dad was quite young. And so from a young age, my dad kind of looked to Shupa's dad as like a father figure. And I think that it's really funny when you see the two of them together, like they're so similar. But I think the softer qualities that your dad had, he hid from the rest of the family because he had to be the father figure.
Yeah.
And so there's certain things about my dad that I actually feel like are like rougher around the edges than her dad. Because I think that softness, he really let his daughters into that part of his life. But to my dad was just like, I have to take care of like 100 people in my family, because that's what my father figure did. Like her dad was that anchor for our whole family, for 8 siblings and all their kids. So yeah, my dad has no shortage of daddy issues. And I think I've inherited those too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So what is something you love about your dad?
A lot of things. I love that my dad is always willing to take a chance. It's something that I've been very like, I've found very upsetting at times, where I've been like, why do you take the chances that you do? Please slow your roll. But my dad is a true entrepreneur. He is a hustler through and through. He will try and fail at things, and he's comfortable with that, and he doesn't care what you think about it. And that is something that I have had a really hard time reckoning with as somebody who has this relationship to failure, where it's like, if you fail, you die. Like if you fail, someone takes you out back and shoots you. But my dad is just like, yeah, you have to fail, and it's embarrassing and whatever. Like, what's your problem? And I don't know, the older I get, the more I admire that. I think he doesn't he doesn't hold back when he thinks something's a good idea, when he thinks something's a good investment, when he thinks this is worth spending time and energy on wholeheartedly. Like he throws his whole ass into it, and he's very like, whatever the consequences are, I am investing in myself and my decisions. That's something that I love about him. That's something that as a child you feel very like, oh my God, what's happening about? But as I've gotten older, I'm like, yeah, that's actually very admirable that you can take that sort of risk on yourself and have that sort of belief in yourself that things are going to work out one way or another. I think that's something that I hope to take with me from my dad's journey.
What is something that you wish your dad showed up as?
I wish my dad took the time to understand mental health more. Mental health studies was very important to me. I think it's something that is such a necessary conversation to be having in the Bengali community. I did mental health studies for my undergrad. Like we need to be talking about mental health like 10 times more than we're talking about it.
100%.
And my dad has always he's been supportive and understanding of, oh, these are my daughter's dreams. But when it comes to actually understanding what the symptomology is and how it affects me on a day-to-day basis, and how often I give myself breaks, I think makes him really upset, because he's just like, why are you so kind to yourself? I don't get that. I don't like that. That's not successful. That's not a recipe for success to rest this often.
Too indulgent.
Yeah. And me and my dad have had many very heated exchanges about me just trying to explain neurodivergence to him in this way, where I'm like, I can tell that I'm hitting a wall, because for my dad to acknowledge that this thing is real, he would have to acknowledge how much of his family and how much of himself are tied up in those constructs, and how neurodivergent we are. When you look at like intergenerational trauma, right? Like when you look at, our families have all survived a genocide, like a very extreme level of warfare. My parents were both very young at the time of our liberation war. And
1971.
Yeah. And so my dad has always just been kind of like, well, we've survived a lot. Like my dad will casually say things like, yeah, I've watched people pass away in front of me from, malnutrition and starvation. Like so casually. And I'm like, that would scar a person. And but to say like that would scar a person, my dad's just like, no, I'm fine. And we don't have to talk about it, and it's fine. And like, why do you have to like crack this nut? Like, why do you have to, what is it? Like can of worms. Like, why do you have to open that can of worms? Like, why do you have to talk about it? It's not important, but like, if you have to talk about it, it makes it very, very material. And like, that's something that I think his generation is deeply uncomfortable with.
Yeah, that is the same generation as my parents too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the same generation as my parents too.
I will say there's like one thing that, so I lied about finishing school for a long time before I actually finished school.
Ooh, you lied to your dad.
I lied to my dad. I lied to my parents. Yeah.
You lied to your parents about finishing school.
So It took me 11 years to finish my undergrad, which is something that I am like now not as ashamed of talking about. But when I was in it, I was deeply ashamed of it naturally, you know, watching all your friends graduate around you. And you're just like, I am so burnt out and I can't finish. Like I have failed stats 3 times for some reason. Like I'm a good mathematician. I just don't have the brain power to keep going. Like I'm skipping class. I'm not even able to, I had like a series of traumatic events in my undergrad as well. That just made it to the point where I didn't even really have the wherewithal to drop out of my classes. Like I was in the class, not going to class, not going to exams, getting zeros on my transcript. Like that's where I was at, you know? So being able to talk to my parents about this came like very, very late. Like after I had decided, after I'd had a full career in software and, you know, like COVID had passed, like all these things had passed. And I was just like, I think I want to go back and finish my degree because I finally have this understanding of myself. And I finally have, you know, this diagnosis that allows me to get some accommodations in school where I can get, you know, a noise canceling room to write my exams. And those things will actually genuinely help me finish. And I was able to finish because of those things. But telling my parents that like, hey, I know I told you I graduated years ago, but I'm actually quitting my job and going back to school to finish this degree that you guys have paid the OSAP off for because you thought I finished. That took a lot. That took a lot of really hard conversations. And one thing that I will always love my dad for is that there was this graduation party that my family friends threw after COVID where they're like, all of our kids graduated during COVID and we didn't get a chance to celebrate. And let's just have all the kids go up and talk about what they did in school. It was just like, it put me on the spot because I had to be like, oh my God, I didn't actually graduate. Now I have to tell everyone. And everybody has thought that I graduated. And I've recently told my parents. So for me to get up there and lie to like all of our family friends seems very weird at this point when my family knows. And so I had to admit it in this very public way to all of my family friends at this event where the vibes were not to be this vulnerable. And my dad got up on stage after I said it because it was just like, yeah, Maria, like, what'd you graduate from? And I'm like, I'm still in school at my big age. And all of my, 21-year-old family friends are graduating and going to med school. And like, I'm still finishing this 4-year degree. And my dad got up and said the funniest, he was just like, he went on this ramble and he was like, you know what? Like, Maria's working on a really cool project right now and she's doing her tech thing and we don't understand it, but we should make space to understand it. Like we should all sit down and have forums where we can sit and talk about it and understand it because it is really important. And also it's really cool that you guys have all graduated, but AI is going to take your jobs anyway. Like he literally said this to the entire room of people. AI is going to take all of your jobs. So at the end of the day, does school really even matter? Like
Baba
that
came through.
Yeah.
Baba came through like Baba.
Yeah, he showed up.
Baba showed up.
Yeah.
Baba lived up to the title of Baba.
Yeah. And that was like one thing that I have to like remember every time I do have a daddy. My dad's a nice person. He's trying. Yeah. Like it's like it can be both. Life is so complex.
It is complex.
Yeah.
It is complex. Wow.
Yeah.
The Baba came through on that event. How did you feel when he did that?
Mortified. Just like, can we stop? Like, stop talking. But yeah, no, I mean, it was nice. It was nice that I think he could sense that like, okay, my daughter's up there showing her ass. And this is really embarrassing. Like, let me also go show my ass. So it meant a lot. It meant a lot to me.
I am so glad you said that because it took you like what? How many years to finish undergrad?
11 years.
It took
on and
me-
off. I wasn't there the whole time, but on and off.
On and off. And I was there mostly the whole time, except I think 1 year I took a little bit of a break. I think 2 years I took a little bit of a break, but it took me 6 years to graduate. What I'm trying to say is when we are going through life, our phases in life where we feel we shouldn't be going through this or this is a struggle or this is something we should be ashamed of, like my divorce. Like there are people going through different stages, or maybe if somebody gets fired from a job. I think in those moments where we feel that we are failing or we are struggling or we're not hitting the standard that we have kept for ourselves, and our parents, or given the context of this podcast, our dads are actually there being supportive, it helps us move forward. And it's just so important. It's just so impactful. And I am just so glad to hear that your dad did that.
Yeah, he has his moments. He has his moments. Yeah.
He has his moments.
And then he yells at my cousin on the phone. I'm like,
my
that's my
God.
dad. Like, that's my dad
God.
too. You
I'm
know?
so sorry that happened, Shupa.
No, that's totally okay. I think one thing that I was thinking of, the Clover situation.
Oh my God.
You know what, as kids felt like imminent threat, we are now able to see
It was not.
it was not.
It was not.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because now that I'm working with my uncle and spending all of this time with him, I'm redefining my relationship with my father in hindsight. Like, it's really interesting because I'm learning a lot of things about my father through my relationship with my uncle. Like how, because there's like that degree of separation, right? When he yells at me, like my uncle, I'm like, yeah, old man. I'm like able to take it less seriously
Right.
and not as personally. And I'm
Right.
just able to laugh at that and be like, oh, like you're just stressed about your little business. Like it's okay. Whereas if my dad were to yell at me, I would just pass away. Like I would just be like, how could you?
That's
be
a big
this
part of like
hurtful?
the
Like,
reason.
How could you?
Yeah.
yeah, like how
How-
could you say that to me? Like how could you
Right.
be so mean to me and all of those things?
I'm your
Where-
daughter.
Yeah. Right? Whereas with my uncle, it's like I can kind of separate our relationship and just be like, yeah, you're, you know, like you're having a hard time regulating your emotions. That's okay.
I started doing that sometimes with my mom a little bit. I'm like, when I see she's struggling, and I'm like, okay, she's just having a hard time regulating her emotions.
Yeah.
And then I struggle with her. I'm like, I'm having a hard time regulating my emotions with her.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
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 You just need to go sit on opposite corners of the room and like think about life. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to repeat the question for you, Shupa. What is one thing that you wish your dad showed up as that he didn't? And that might, I understand that might be a sensitive question since he's not with us anymore. And if you don't want to answer, I totally understand. Up to you. But what is one thing you wish he did?
Yeah. I can think of two things.
Please.
One thing would be I think he showed up as a mentor in my life more unconditionally, where I just wish he would have said, "Tumi daktari porte chao na, it's fine. You know, it doesn't make you stupid or lazy or unambitious. It just means that that's not what you care about." I wish he had said, "Tumi porikhay kharap korso." That's doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means that you tried your best and sometimes shit happens, right? Or how can I help? Or what can I provide for it? Not that he wasn't providing, but you know, what can I do to make it better for you? How can I be more of a support system to you?
When did your dad pass away?
When did he pass?
He passed away in October of 2024.
Yeah.
That's really recent.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish instead of being like,
Sorry, was it in September?
I have truly blocked it out. I
It was in
truly
September. It
don't.
was in September because I did my birthday and you were already in Bangladesh.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Did you talk to him like before that, before him passing? Did he pass away suddenly?
Yes. I mean, he was sick for a very long time, but he passed away suddenly. We were not expecting that. So I didn't get to, he was in the hospital for a few days and we were all just expecting that he would come back home like he always does. He, you know, he's the bitch that keeps coming back. So, and then one day it was like, he passed away. And it was just really hard to accept because I think my dad, I have seen him as an old man, right? I think for most people, children, it's like their dads are young and they kind of grow up together. And, you know, you grow up as a child into a young person, your dad becomes old. For me, my dad was already old by the time I was born. And so for me, it was like, oh, you are just going to be here forever, aren't you?
Right.
And so that was really hard to accept. But yeah, I didn't really get to talk to him much before he passed away. And I think he was also becoming a bit dementia-y.
Yeah.
So I think I had to accept, like, a couple of years, even a couple of years before he passed away, that I don't think I'll get to have that talk with him, where, listen, these are all the ways you fucked me up, but let's have a good,
So you never had a heart-to-heart with him?
No, never got to have a heart-to-heart with him. I kind of had to accept that, like, even if I try, I don't think he will be able to comprehend. So let's just try to enjoy, like, what we have right now. But then it was also hard because he just, can't help himself. He just has to be like, I have already told everyone that you're getting a PhD.
Yeah, I think when he was like in his dementia-y days, he was like a little senile, and he was telling people that my daughter's getting a PhD, and she's like
she's already in a PhD program.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not though.
You fulfilled his dream in his head before he passed. So you did that.
I just kind of had to be like, you know what, if it makes you happy, why not?
Why not?
It's really important to me that I do that when I want to do it, when I think that that's what I want from my life. Because I feel like I've made so many academic and professional decisions based on what my dad would want. So I feel like that now onwards, even working at the restaurant, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, my dad would be so annoyed that this is what I'm doing. And I just, have to be like, I enjoy this. So I have to give myself that.
I think sometimes parents or family back home don't really fully comprehend the way life is here.
Yeah.
And the sacrifices that we have to make, the struggles that we go through. Yeah. And sometimes they may look down on what we are doing, on how we are making a living, when everything that we're doing, I feel, is such an act of courage and survival and resilience, because it's not easy to survive here.
Yeah.
It's not easy to survive here.
For sure.
Wow. What an episode, guys.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Good.
I think sometimes you have more clarity when you talk, like say things out loud.
And you say things out loud?
Yeah.
We're almost at the end of the episode. Almost. And the question that I was saving from the very beginning that I wanted to ask you, if there is something or some things you would like to tell your dad, honestly, vulnerably, imagining that he would actually listen to what you have to say, things that you wish he did, things that you wish he said, ways that you wish he showed up, what would you tell him?
I think I would tell him that just that I love you so very much. And we are more similar than we are different. And I think that's the reasons why he would scold me or try to discipline me or just become so incredibly triggered are because he would see himself in me. And he would just think to himself, like, why, just you are the best version of me. So why can't you try harder? And I just wish I could tell him how deeply, deeply, deeply I love him and how much I want to. Sorry, this is.
Take your time.
Like crying in a podcast.
Take your time.
Oh. Yeah, like how much his opinion mattered to me, And I wish he knew that I, you know, regardless of our differences, I love him more than anything in this world. And going back to Bangladesh this time after he passed, when I was going through his things and just kind of taking care of, you know, what is that called? Like
His affairs, like settling his affairs.
And just seeing how similar we are. How similar we are in the way where he always tried to show to the world that he's so organized. And I just truly felt for him, I empathized with him so deeply, where I was just like, you're just a little young boy who just wanted love and affection from his parents, but he just had to grow up and take care of his family. And he truly just wanted affection. And I wish I was there for him. I wish I was able to kind of let go of my resentment to be there for him more. And I hope that whatever I do in life, I hope that you can be proud of me. And just know that I will try to uphold your name till however long I'm alive on this earth. That's what I would say to him.
Thank you for sharing that, Shupa. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm sorry, I'm tearing up. Okay, Maria.
Mm-hmm.
What was the question I asked?
What would you
Like to say to him?
your dad?
Yeah. If you could say something to him, what would you tell your dad? Imagine, like, you know, like he's accepting to listen to it. Like you don't have to worry, and you can just tell him.
It's a really hard question. The one thing that comes to mind that I want to tell my dad is that the things that I have struggled with in my life haven't been a reflection entirely of his parenting. Other things have happened to me in life. I think that it's shocking to him when he hears that he is not the main source of all of my pain, because like sometimes when we argue, that's how he takes it. Like, because he has like the emotional intelligence of a toddler. Sometimes he'll be like, oh, like, fine, I'm just the worst person in the world, when I'm trying to communicate with him what's going on with me.
Right.
And so it's sometimes taken me being like, sit down and shut up and listen to me. Like, I'm in pain and it isn't about you. You're like, it's not about you at all. It's about me. And your job is to show up for me right now. And instead I'm having to tell you that instead of being in my feeling.
Right.
So those have been conversations where in the moment, sometimes I do feel like he understands, or he's like mind blown, but he understands for a sec. And then he'll like swiftly forget because he is also an old man. He's just like, yeah, okay. And then he hopes that we never bring that up again because that was really awkward. You know? Just be like, don't talk about that. Like, don't tell me what else. I don't want to know what else. Let's just keep it about me right now. You know, like there's been conversations where I've just been like, I feel like I'm losing my mind trying to get through to you. I feel like I'm truly going insane trying to have a dialogue. And he knows that we mirror each other and he doesn't want to look at me.
I love how you said we mirror each other. Oh my God.
Yeah. And so I'm constantly thinking about me and my dad and how similar we are, and how much I have to control for that when I enter a room. Like, oh, I'm about to be my dad right now. Like, let me just scale it back like 60%, you know? But my dad, like, I think he has yet to recognize how much of me is him and how much of him is me. And So the conflict resolution part can get really messy and really muddled, especially when it's not all about him.
So what would you tell him?
It's like slow your roll and listen some more.
Slow your roll and listen some more. Dads out there, if you're not slowing your roll and listening to your daughters, it just might be the time to do so.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
I talk a lot. And I have talked a lot my whole life. I'm the chatterbox type of ADHD. I'm the hyperactivity type. And my dad, so many of his core memories of me as a child have been how much I was talking. And he always tells these stories like they're really funny. Like he'll just be like, yeah, one time we were driving from Toronto to New York and the whole time Maria was talking. And she was talking about anything and everything. And she was like looking at the graveyard that we were passing. She's like, look at how many people died. Like, yeah, like I have a lot to say. And I think
his
like
fondest memory of you is you talking the whole time on your walk. And then when you guys came home, you were like, Baba, did you notice that I was talking the whole time?
yeah, but yeah, that being said, talking so much and feeling so unheard is crazy. So like that is one thing where I think, yeah, there's a disconnect that I would like to be able to have the language to communicate better with him, or have, I don't know, like I maybe we'll never be able to get there because we've just had like fundamentally different lived experiences. And like, I think that I also have to come to terms with that. But one message is I do listen to my dad. My dad thinks I don't listen to him at all. So many of the decisions I've made in my life have been because of my dad saying that that's what you should do with your life.
Right.
And, you know, if I have a regret about something that I did, what I like being 18 years old, choosing a mental health studies degree, my dad has never let me live that down. He's like, I told you should have gone into engineering. What did you do? You went into software when you were like 8 years had passed because you wanted to do your little thing first. I'm like, I'm 18. Like, who knows what I want to do? No one knows.
No one does.
Also, you're still not right. I did engineering and then I stopped doing engineering. Like, you weren't right either. And I also wasn't right. Like,
yeah.
But yeah. There's a listening deficit on both sides, maybe, but I think I try a lot. I think I want him to meet me there.
So if something you would want to say to your dad, it would be, I wish you listened to me more.
Yeah. Because I'm going to talk a lot regardless, but like try to get some.
Like try to understand it.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Very fair. How are you all feeling?
Good.
I have just a couple rapid fire questions. What has been your most recent emotional support purchase? Like emotional support. Like you bought it to make yourself feel good.
You know what? I buy a lot of arts and craft supplies.
Arts and craft supplies?
That's like what I impulse spend on the most.
Impulse. I love that.
Yeah.
How about you, Shupa?
We recently went to Mexico, so I don't have
No. Okay.
the funds to.
She bought so much Mexican candy that we got like stopped by Border Patrol. Like, what are you saying? They were like, what is that? That's an abnormal amount of candy.
I thought it was like the most recent. That's been a while.
Okay. That's been like a week.
Yeah.
You've just been working the whole time.
Yeah.
One thing about your dad that you want your lover to have.
I can't answer this one because they're friends. They're like besties. It's gross.
Okay. How about one thing you love about your fiance?
He's so autistic. He has the weirdest, like, you know what Samama was saying yesterday? Like, he has the most unique brain. He is in his own world. He is truly not built like any other person I have ever met. And I find it fascinating where his brain goes. He's like dead asleep talking about construction projects in his sleep. He's locked into like whatever the hell's going on up there. I love it.
What is something that you want do you have a lover or a fiance? Are you single like me or no?
Yes.
You're single? Like me. What is one thing that you want your future partner to have, like a quality?
Of my dad.
Yes.
How much of a family man my dad was. Like, he refused to eat dinner without all of us present. He would want to include us in everything. And during winter, he would just want to huddle all of us in a blanket and watch TV together. And he just genuinely enjoyed spending time with us, even though we wouldn't talk much. But I think I look for that in a partner. Just want to be with me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is something you want to tell the Bengali community or the uncles or the aunties, other than the fact that you need to go to Rupushi Bangla if you're in Toronto?
At 2680 Lawrence Ave East, Scarborough.
Yes. What would you want to say?
Be nicer to your kids.
Be nicer to your kids.
Also be nicer to yourselves. I feel like you guys are mean because you are resentful. Like, just have a good old time with your friends. Be more chill, and then you would have a better experience in life overall.
There you go.
You know what I would say to Bengali uncles and aunties?
What would you say?
Once upon a time, you were also a small child. So think about that next time you're mean to a kid. And if you've never had to work a service job, don't be rude to waiters.
Yeah. You know what they would say to that? It would be like, not the thing you said before, is that I was once a small child and I was
perfect. Yeah, I paid so much attention.
Yeah.
I asked my parents for permission for everything.
Yeah. They didn't
No, you
even
didn't,
buy
and we
me
know that.
pencils. And I still got straight A's.
I wrote with my bare hands.
I wrote with my bare hands.
Thank you guys again.
এই পডকাস্টটা আমি জীবনেও ভুলবো না।
এই পডকাস্টটা আমি জীবনেও ভুলবো না। This
3 Bengali girls
3 Bengali baddies
about their dads. Like,
with
what could be more interesting?
If I invite you again back to the show, would you come back?
Of course, 100%.
Would you come back?
Yeah.
Are you proud of me?
So proud of you.
We're so
Am I
proud
a
of you,
good
and you're a
girl?
really good girl. You're among the
I'm
best.
such a good girl.
Me at the look kicked on me.
আমি অনেক লক্ষ্মী একটা মেয়ে, আমি অনেক দুষ্টু একটা মেয়ে, আমি অনেক দুষ্টু একটা মেয়ে. Oh
You
my gosh,
contain
Shupa.
multitudes.
In the right environment. Oh my God. If you have been listening to this, my darling listeners or viewers, thank you so much for being with us today here with Shupa and Maria. The Daughter with Daddy Issues Season 2 is rolling. And what's the Rupushi Bangla Instagram handle?
Rupushi.bangla.toronto.
Got it right?
Yeah.
Got it right?
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram and make sure you come back next week because I'm going to drop another guest episode, which you'll find out soon what it's going to be about. Take care, guys, and have a wonderful rest of your day.